Shout out to my people. Shout out to my people. Sending love, positivity, and good vibes to my people, man. I hope you guys are doing good today. I'm doing great. Today's topic, today's gem that I got for you guys is fuck the man. Yes, I said it, man. Fuck the man. The man is always going to try to stick it to you. I know a lot of the times we use terms, the white man, but sometimes it don't even got to be the white man. Sometimes it could be somebody that lets their job title get to their head. Yeah, they got promoted to manager, so now they think they better. Don't be one of those people. Don't allow a job title. Now, at the same time, whatever you work for, you know, if you do get the job title, step into that job title with pride. You know, complete the task, you know, the duties that you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are gonna go from, I would say, an associate to like a manager, the best advice that I would say is, you know, take that seriously, because you can get a lot of different perks, whether that's money, you know, opportunities. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and just tell you guys to say fuck the man in the sense of fuck your job, because if you don't do it properly, if you don't move accordingly, then you can jeopardize your whole job situation, your whole career, you know. And that's the reason why, first and foremost, I advise you guys, I don't care if you guys been working for the same company for 20 years. Y'all, it's that time. The time that we're in is to not just rely on one source of income. You know, figure out how to build another business, to make a product, start a YouTube channel. There's so many things where, you know, instead of being a consumer, it's time to produce. It's time to produce content. It's time to make things and do things and create, especially as a man. You know, our number one thing is to be on our purpose. And I'm getting kind of off track, but I really just want to break this down. You know, our goal is our purpose in life. It's not pleasures. It's not being with these females. It's not, you know, taking these drugs, drinking this lean, popping up. It's not none of that. It's not, you know, trying to impress people and buy and stunt. You know, we can get lost in so many pockets and rabbit holes that's in our culture that, you know, first and foremost, you got to have that self-awareness before you can even come out and be like, F the man. You know, you got to really work on yourself and get yourself to the point where you have faith in yourself. You believe in yourself. You done stack some money. So now you don't have to rely on a job source. If you have responsibilities, you know, you may not be able to say fuck the man. You know, if you got kids and wife and you got a mortgage and your family's really relying on you to, you know, provide and protect, you might have to start all the way at ground zero and scale back and figure out what you can do with what you have and where you're at in order to, you know, get another source of income or to dig yourself out of the situation you're in. We always should be striving for more. It's the reason why, you know, back in the days, these emperors, these warriors, it's the reason why they wanted more. They wanted more land. They wanted more women. You know, they weren't just satisfied. And that is the mindset that we must have. We can't adapt this new mindset to the point where we're content. We want to live in our comfort zones. We're focused on our pleasures. Like, that is the best fulfillment that I have had in my life, is, you know, trading in, whether it's stunting, buying, you know, just the culture, the lifestyle, the culture. And once I sat down and start realizing and knowing myself and what I wanted and where I see myself and where, you know, I see my family and where I want them to end up, then you start painting the bigger picture. And now you're not so much focused on, you know, pleasures and, you know, how you feel, and you get to lock on into your purpose. So once you lock into your purpose, y'all, that is the step now that I would tell you guys, fuck the man. Once you get the real, I felt like I said fuck the man, and I ran away from my job title and my career that I had at the time. And it was because I couldn't take the disrespect that the man was putting on me. And we're going to get into that. But, you know, I just said, fuck it. I'm not just going to, you know, transfer from one job to the next smoothly. I don't recommend you guys to do what I did, but the type of person I am, I couldn't face myself in the mirror and keep going to this job knowing that they didn't have my best interest, that they were playing mind games and manipulating me. So, you know, I just took a leap of faith, and I just, you know, jumped off the cliff, and I just started flapping. And the situation worked out for me. I know it's not going to work out for everybody, but, you know, it's also in the same breath, like, life is what you make it, and life is what you manifest. So if you truly believe and you're fed up, and you know how hard, you know, I was making millions of dollars for this corporation, making $1 million for Fitness Line, running around, you know, managing, getting shoes, grabbing shoes, discount, talking to people. Like, one good worker for these corporations at least is making anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000, if not $1 million. So these corporations really need you guys, and you know, they try to manipulate you into thinking that you're disposable. First situation that I came across, like, we all, it's the man could be a police officer that, you know, thinks that he may take advantage of you or treat you some type of way because of, you know, really just basically in his ego, because of his status. That is the person when I'm referring to the man. The person who isn't the cool boss. The person that, you know, is the hater. The person that makes the job harder than it needs to be. So the first time I witnessed the man, I was working at Cold Stone. I had many jobs. For the most part, you know, I had jobs that I didn't like. But Cold Stone was a job that I got into, and I realized that the man didn't like me. And now that I'm looking back at it, I had a fake friend that we both, you know, went to the same school, was in the same grade. He was a friend of me that I didn't know at the time. And now that I'm looking back, you know, he played soccer. My boss, he was a soccer coach. So that's something that they could, like, click on. And, you know, knowing the type of guy that snaked me, he's basically a fuckboy. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody really fucks with him. He is just a grimy dude. He'll sleep with your girl. He'll talk shit behind your back, smile in your face. I don't fuck with those type people. I don't fuck with people who aren't who they say they are. I think that's the most weakest version of a person that you could be. Somebody that doesn't stand on it. Somebody that wants to manipulate, play mind games, wants to take from you. Don't, you know, I can fuck with somebody who is just, you know, stuck in their ways, and they are who they are. They believe, you know, I'm from the generation and era. It's like, you know, talk your shit, stand on your shit. And if you know, if you're going to take something away from me, take it in my face. You know, I have a saying, or what's his name? D-Baby has a nice quote that he says, I'd rather spit in your face than, you know, stab you in the back. And that's how I live. You know, whatever I do, I'm going to do it in front of your face. I'm not going to be no pussy and try to manipulate and slime and lie. That's not what I stand on. So long story short, you know, the dude I was fucking with at the time, he basically was pillow talking to the boss, but, you know, keeping me in his pocket. I'm telling him at the time, expressing to him, you know, and he's probably going straight to the boss, telling, you know, just narcissist type of a motherfucker who, you know, wants to have that control and divide and wants everybody to look at them like they squeaky clean. So that was the first time I witnessed the man. somebody that has control over your life. Me, I kept my distance. You know, I have a real strong inclination of people who fuck with me and if they don't. And if you don't fuck with me, I keep my distance from you. I don't like to, you know, people please. I don't like to be the nice guy. You know, I just like to do my job, stay out the way. And that's another thing that these jobs, they hate. They hate somebody that, you know, doesn't get involved in the politics. If you ain't getting involved in the politics to the point where, you know, they can tug at you and they can pull strings and they can, you know, say slick ass shit and get away with it, then, you know, they don't want you in their circle. They want somebody that they can manipulate. And I've never been that type of person. You know, I fall out with whoever, whenever, over that. You feel me? So getting back to the topic, the first time I witnessed the man, you know, fake friend, basically grew a divide in you know, so he was giving me less hours. He wasn't trying to promote me. He was giving me, you know, I had the stigma of being the smoker. But it's crazy because the dude who was my fake homie, he would smoke just as much as me, but somehow he wasn't viewed as, like I said, bro. And that's it. Y'all got to be careful with who y'all trust, who y'all be around, and just peep shit. You know what I'm saying? Back then, I couldn't see it. I wasn't so self-aware, and I wasn't on game. But now, so that was the first time working at Cold Stone. I done work other jobs and stuff like that, but these are times where I've really witnessed, you know, the manning. So the next situation was Finish Line. Finish Line was by far one of my favorite jobs. I love Finish Line. I love the environment. I love the people that I met. You know, it was just a great work environment. You can meet a lot of cool people, and, you know, just, there's a lot of perks, discounts, and I think we had like 30 or 40% off discount as well. So it's first dibs on shoes. So there's a lot of perks of working at the mall / working at a retail sneaker store. So I love the job. But, you know, when you're growing or you want to grow into a corporation or a job, you don't realize that there's sacrifices and repercussions that come each time you step up. That's why I, you know, with the more pay you get, sometimes it's not worth the stress. It's not worth, you know, what they're asking for. If you take in consideration all the bullshit that they gonna put on you with you getting this promotion, a lot of the times it's not even worth it. But I worked for the corporation for 5 years. It was to the point where, you know, I done seen 15 managers come and go. So I knew, you know, I was like, shit, let me get a crack at it. And if you are going to get into a corporation or a job, make sure that corporation and the job doesn't have a cap. You know, there's not a lot of positions in a retail store. So you really, like, the boss, the higher ups, the district managers, those people have to, you know, really believe in you, really invest in you, and they, you know, make sure that you can see that they show that they're really interested in your career with them. So, long story short, you know, I basically went from manager to assistant store manager rapidly. Pay raise went up, which that was good, but I realized that it wasn't worth the stress. It wasn't worth the mind games and manipulate. You know, basically they took me to a store, had me flip the whole store upside down, but I didn't get any of, you know, that was the pay. The pay was, you're going to work your ass off. You're going to flip this store upside down, but the store manager, she's going to get all the praise. But when everything goes bad, when everything goes left or wrong, you are going to be crucified for that. You know, I felt like the district manager was sleeping with the store manager. It's no way that he was taking the loss that he was and just allowing her being in this position to just, you know, completely just destroy this store. Beside, you know, it had to be something intimate, or it had to be something. I won't say they were, I think they were. I think they were messing around, and a lot of people, that was the word around. And that stuff happens as well. You know, if people sleep to the top, people creep to the top, people lie to the top. So that is just another a variable that can come into place when it comes to the workforce. Man, that job, it went from being my favorite job to me literally throwing the keys like, y'all can have this. I can't do this no more. Like, bump y'all. Fuck this job. And it was because the district manager basically, you know, took me out and he gave me like a little pep talk, like, come, you doing great, you know what I'm saying, keep going. But then once we got around her, he completely flipped and then start trying to talk. You know, I do not fuck with the fake. I don't fuck with fake people. I don't fuck with people who do not stand on who they are. And that's what I'm talking about, the man trying to play mind games. And, you know, and I feel like when you work for corporations and shit, it starts to allow you to become a sociopath and narcissistic, because once you are in this rat race, now you taking tabs at what everybody doing wrong, but then you really not praising people for what they doing right, and you're trying to one up everybody, and that starts to trickle off into normal life. And now you trying to manipulate your kids, and now you trying to, you know, pull tabs on, and now you're trying to monitor, and it just gets like to the point where that starts to become your identity. I was there, that's how I know. You know, now I'm talking about other people, but when they talking about me, now I'm trying to cuss everybody the fuck out. That right there shows me that, because the right person in the right, they gonna keep their mouth closed, and they just gonna, you know what I'm saying, they just gonna keep playing the game. I couldn't stand to keep playing the game. I'm either gonna cuss you out, or you're going to come to me and tell me what you said. You're going to come to me, and we gonna keep it a buck, and we gonna, but then that's what people don't want. The real people don't want to be, you know, people don't want to self-reflect. They rather play the mind games, and they rather, you know what I'm saying, not me. So, long story short, like I keep saying, the district manager, I came in here, bro. When I tell you 40% of their inventory was in the back, I had to teach them the whole, you know, I had to implement a whole system, you know, from scanning the shoes. It was basically like a whole new program that I had to show these guys, like how to implement, what to do. And as soon as I did that and taught them, you know, now I realized that I'm disposable. They don't need me no more. You know, I gave them the gym. You know, I showed them exactly how to do everything, and so now they think that you're disposable now. You did, you know what I'm saying, you fell for the trap. They ran the game on you, and you executed the game, but what was to come from it? Another pay raise? Your own store? Because he already has his favorites. And so then I'm like, and I realized, like, I was already going through tough stuff in general, but then once I went through that, it was like, ooh, let alone you played the 15 people I seen come get their head chopped off. Now I'm one of those people, but I'm not gonna go out like that. Y'all ain't gonna cut my head off. I'm gonna throw y'all the keys. I'm gonna do my own thing before I keep driving myself crazy with this shit, knowing you guys don't have my best interest and you guys don't appreciate me. So I left. Said, fuck that shit. start grinding, start doing my own shit, start figuring out, start YouTubing how to make money, start really retailing clothes, shoes, anything that I knew that I could really flip. I start focusing on nice place, thrift stores, places to buy certain things, start flipping cars, start detailing cars. And that got into now where we're at. We're detailing cars. Now we're washing cars and stuff like that. So this is the last example. Even though I've had a lot of experiences with the man, and him just trying to flex that power, these are situations that really stuck with me and changed me and allowed me to realize, like, this ain't about to happen again. So Cold Stone was the first situation where it's like, oh, they ain't nobody gonna make me feel and play me like, I'm not a hard worker when I am a hard worker. Y'all ain't gonna label me as something that I'm not. And then with the Finish Line situation, this was the situation where it's like, don't sell out for the money. Just because you get the pay raise, just because you have the perks, just because this is your favorite job, that doesn't mean that you are going to tolerate disrespect. That doesn't mean that, you're going to allow people to walk over you and lie to you and, play mind. They ain't going to do it. No. They can do that to everybody else, but they ain't going to do that. So I walked away. Second time with the man. Third time with the man, I started my own business. And me and my homie, recently, this was in the last 6 months, start of the summer, basically got my LLCs within a week period of me having my LLCs. I got a phone call from my one homie, and he was basically like, can you start detailing cars? It's a dealership. He's got 9 dealerships. And if you get in, you basically, locked in. So what basically happened was everything was, fine and dandy. And the fact that, we didn't work for the dealership. Technically this is our own business, but we had to go to the dealership and wash the cars. What happened was everything was fine, dandy, but this guy would just do like little weird shit, stuff that people, trying to figure out your life and what you're doing, what you guys do after work, and he's texting you, and he will always blow me up and blow me up and blow me up, asking, can you work? And my thing was, I'm not going to just immediately respond yes, because I'm not on your time. This is our business. I have to first I see the text messages. Second of all, I gotta rely to a whole nother person, ask them, do they want to work? So even though every single time I showed up, he asked and said yes, it might be an hour, it might be 2 hours, it might be 3 hours until you get the response that you want, because, we're not on your time. This is our business, and we going to come, and I got to ask him what's he's doing tomorrow. We got to fit in and make sure, So, he felt some type of way about me not replying immediately. So long story short, he got my homie's phone number. He basically like, delete my number out your phone. Exactly the word for word which came off super sassy to me. I'm like, all right, cool, bet, block. Like, I don't care. I do this shit for the bigger picture. I do this shit because I'm trying to, get the houses and do this shit legit. I don't need this shit. And a lot of people will try to box you in and figure you out to see if you need some shit. And once whether you do or don't, they're going to start playing their game and start, acting weird. Which, before, the first time we detailed, we had to go to a certain spot. And when we went to the spot, the dude who was at the spot that was working at that dealership, he said, oh, I don't really like that dude. He's weird. You know what I'm saying? So when people say these things, you know, regardless, I'm not just going to go off of what this dude says off for it, but that's going to stick with me. And I'm going to keep, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind. So when he slowly but surely just start moving, he's saying little sass. I'm seeing how he's treating his workers, how he's talking to them. Always trying to ask, like, you know, one time we came 15 minutes late because we had to go to Walmart. Another story is they have an AutoZone right there. Well, I was going to the AutoZone to get products. He didn't really get on me, but he broke down, like, you know, you're gonna have to, if you want to save money, go buy products from Walmart, or, you know, pre-order and get it in bulk. So he's telling us game. So long story short, instead of going to AutoZone, which was right there, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get equipment, but I'm not gonna go to AutoZone. I'm gonna go to Walmart. Walmart, around the block. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Even though we don't work for you, even though, you know, you're not my boss, you're coming up to me, giving me advice, and I'm trying to take it and apply this advice. But the fact that, you know, I did, so if I would have came late and went to AutoZone, you would have kind of said something about me. Oh, well, you just going to keep going over there and they going to keep, you know, taxing you. I'm like, shit, 15 minutes late, go to Walmart, use the advice that you gave me, even though, and that's another thing, 15 minutes late is do or die to these people. Even though the job's going to get done, I'm not paid on an hourly basis doing these cars. I'm paid on each car that we do. It may take 30 minutes to do a car. It may take 2 hours to do a car. So you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to break down to y'all. Is the man is always going to try to manipulate. He's trying to figure you out. He's trying to see if you got a girlfriend, if you got a wife, who you dating, do you got kids, do you take care of your kids? You know, he's trying to judge you. He's trying to place you in this box. And meanwhile, he won't tell you anything that's going on in his life. He could be, you know, DL in the closet, all types of stuff that you done heard about him that you don't even care about. But he's going out of his way every single day to get on you, to figure you out, to box you in. Y'all, protect y'all energy, protect your peace. People are literally, so what happened with this job, bro, was, you know, delete your number off my phone, or I gave my one homie his number. Soon as he gave my homie his number, my homie hit me up talking about, oh, well, he's talking about me saying I missed a sticker on a car. He still had my number, mind you. He didn't delete the number out of his phone. So he's trying to get my homie, hey, yeah, he missed this sticker. Should I send it to him, and doing all this? First of all, you are our boss. So if I missed the sticker, really, we missed the fucking sticker. You get what I'm saying? Because this is me and his job. You're trying to now divide me and him. And it's the small little things. From getting his number. Now he's feeling like okay, cool. We still gonna get paid the same, okay? Maybe you just don't vibe with me. Maybe, you know, my energy's too strong. I'm taking in consideration of all the possibilities of what it could be from my end. But I know my energy at 33. I know who's the fuck boy. I know who's the weirdo. I know who is just, you know, I know who ain't with it. Because the people who are, those are the people that always give you your space. Those are the people that, you know, are considerate about your life and your time. So, yeah, getting back into it, he basically is like trying to just do little weird shit towards me. He's saying little shit. Another thing is, and these are things that I'm peeping, and I'm like, you know what? Like, this is some weird ass shit, but I'm just gonna like bite my tongue and keep going. And then it, like the shit just keeps adding up to a point where it's like, nah, you just weirdo, bro. Like, I don't do the weird shit. I can laugh and joke and whatever, like I can let shit fall off my back, but what we ain't gonna do is think that you gonna do that man shit to me. Cause just like you see that you a man, I'm a man too. And once it's like I like to lie, I like to laugh a lot of shit off. But once I take it there and once it's there, I can't not, you know, it's either it goes from 0 to 100 basically. Ain't no miss. So I like to gauge my shit like this ain't even worth it. Let me just keep like let me cause when now I'm cussing motherfuckers out. Now I want to fight. Now, you know, I'm blacking out. And I really try not to get there with motherfuckers because I know that motherfuckers really just be barking up the wrong tree. They don't even be ready for all the shit that's gonna come with the shit that they yelping about. So the last thing he did was we worked and we got these masks because the product, you spraying all these chemicals and products is getting in, you breathing that stuff in, it's not good for you. So we got these masks. Long story short, I got like a $4 or $5 mask. Not the bullshit ass masks that, you know, just hang. I'm talking about the ones that the construction workers and the carpenters wear, you know, really durable masks. So, you know, I give my homie one. I'm wearing one. He sees that I bought it, but I don't know if he necessarily saw my homeboy wearing it, but he knew that I bought them. So he's thinking, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, my homie, he broke his. So, you know, it was like something that was left on the ground. You know, as we working, it snapped. He couldn't use it no more. He threw it on the ground. We meant to pick it up while we was cleaning. He sent the picture to me of the mask sitting on the ground. Meanwhile, you wanted to say that slick shit, but you didn't even. I had to call my friend because I wasn't gonna throw him under the bus. I'm like, hey, did he send you the picture too? He's like, what picture? I'm like, that's how I know he on some fuck nigga, fuck the man shit. He on some trying to puff out his chest and do little weird shit. Little man syndrome, weird man syndrome. Fuck boy, you know, I don't do that shit. So that was the last straw. That was when I was just like, you know what, like, I don't even care about that shit no more. Like, we can go up there. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'll still get paid, but all that, you know, like, nigga. And then that's once you come with that energy that they ain't used to, where you ain't even laughing no more, you ain't even looking their way, you're not even playing the game at all, then they really, really don't want you around. So he sent me the picture of the mask, and first of all, you were supposed to delete your number off my phone, which, like I told y'all, he still had my number. That was one. So you couldn't text me about the sticker that we left that you try to blame on me to my homie on some, you trying to get my homie to puff his chest out on me. Not knowing that me and my homie so locked in tight that even if he did, I could be the type of, like, nigga, fuck you and that nigga. And we could laugh about that shit. Like, nigga, fuck this shit for real. I don't need this shit. I'm doing this to build a better future, you know. I'm viewing this as this is a step in, but motherfuckers is trying to box you in. Sorry I'm ranting, but so moving along, you know what I'm saying? He sent me a picture of the mask on the ground. I'm like, hey, did he send this to you? No, he ain't sent it to you. What was it? So I'm like, oh yeah, like, I'm liable to cuss this nigga out off of how he moving. Like, why didn't you send it to him? If you wanted his number, you just gonna send me all the bad shit, but you gonna, and for what for? I thought you didn't want my number no more. You saying little sly shit. You moving real weird. But then if I come check that shit or say something, then I'm gonna be the bad guy. But when I laugh this shit off, that's not good enough either. long story short, 40-minute video, I broke all that scenarios down, man. Fuck the man. We doing this shit to build our futures, to live in our purpose. You know, that's the reason why a lot of people, they don't see the vision, they don't see my dreams, you know what I'm saying? But fuck them. Fuck whoever doubts you, all that shit, you feel me? I'm letting this shit out today, you feel me? It's like, real, you gotta wake up and I'm posting hella TikToks, we going live, I'm doing everything to build that up. You know, I'm taking advice from DDG, you know, go on TikTok, build your audience. Then you could go to YouTube. I started my channels. I'm staying consistent in that. I'm building my content. You know, you got to do the shit. That's just what I'm doing. I'm doing content creation. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to look at the numbers and analyze and get better. You know what I'm saying? I got one page monetized. The other, my TikTok, you know, I just got a video that got 110K. It went viral. I got another video that's hit like 800K, you know, and you know, I'm just working my craft. I'm seeing what's working. I'm seeing what's not. I'm not, you know, main thing they say is stay consistent, keep posting. And that's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that to say, you know, a lot of people don't see the vision right now, but I know, give me a year, 2 years, I'm gonna be getting paid off this shit. Decent money, good money. But we are not gonna let up. This is our 9 to 5. And I'm saying apply this shit to whatever you do. Stocks, you know, do your research, read books. I'm about to get a book that's how to invest your first $500 to $50,000. I'm about to get that book. I'm about to apply these things. Like, you have to allow these things every single day. You planting, you sowing, you harvesting. Like, you got to be up on your shit. Nobody gonna come and get you up out of bed. You know, content, from making content, motivation, quotes. We going to the gym. We really done took off with the funny, with the comedy, you know, making people laugh. So it's like, whatever y'all need to do, building brands, making products, y'all, like, be able to start from the bottom. Because once you built this shit, I'm to the point now where I built this shit up once I left from finish line. What's that, 10, 15 years ago? About 10 years ago, 8 years, I don't know, but I built this shit so I don't have to take the shit from the man. I will, in order to, you know what I'm saying? But it gets to a point where you don't want anybody, you know, if you have a job, there's jobs out there that they ain't bloodthirsty. They do have your best intentions, but these jobs are rare. Nowadays, you know, it's high school, it's politics, people cutthroat, talking behind people's backs. Like I said, on narcissists and psychopathic shit, people are talking behind you and moving and doing and grooving, and they want you to adapt into their shit. And the best thing you could do is be independent nowadays. Not have you getting paid on your own, you know, passive income. Write you a book. It's time to invest to the point where you can get paid. You can live the life that you want to live. And you don't have to be in the same place. You know, eventually, I'm going to scale my stuff to the point where I'm getting paid. And I'm getting paid to live my life, one. And I can go different places and I, you know, I can be mobile. I can go from this place and that place. And as long as I'm staying consistent and still doing what I'm doing, I can still get paid. So have an outline, know what you guys and experience in the shit that you don't like. Make sure you guys are learning from that shit. Just don't keep going from job to job and thinking y'all, no, now it's time to, you know, shake it up. We're in a time now where you don't need the man. Fuck the man. Fuck the man. So I ran it long enough. I love you guys. It's positivity, but y'all, fuck the man. Figure out a way. You know, it's a lot of, first person that come to mind is Rail. Rail, he's one of my biggest supporters. He works with the airline industry. He loves his job. He's, you know, just bought a house, car. If you got a job that, you know, when you have a job, there's going to be some sacrifices. It's not going to be cakes and lollipops and, like Kodak says, hooray, ice cream. It's not going to be that. So you're going to have to sacrifice a little. But if the pros outweigh the cons, keep going. If there's not a cap to corporate, and you can keep going up, and you ain't sitting here competing and people being bloodthirsty and trying to, man, stay out of that shit, because that shit starts to change who you are as a person, and you don't want that. You want to just be creative and have fun and be in your purpose and be able to create your art and your life as a masterpiece with whatever you want to do. You don't want to then feel like a robot. Fuck the man. Man, I ain't gonna even really speak, but now my landlord try to do it and try to keep tabs on me, and it's just like, you know what? No. Now I can get a house, and now I'm about to get a house. So, if I didn't prepare and prep myself this whole time to get to the next level, these people who really don't have your best interest and want to say fuck you, now you give them that power. Now you have to go off of what they say. But when you're working on yourself and you're saving your money and stacking it, and you've been making the right options, and you've been doing the right things, and you've been starting a business, and now you take all the power from the man, and now you become the man. So keep your power. I love y'all. Peace.